Hare Krishna. Welcome all devotees to the Gita Daily program. Thank you all for joining today's session. So, we are continuing the discussions of Bhagavad Gita, chapter 2. Today's sloka is 23. Yesterday we discussed sloka number 22. So, let's get started. So, we take the blessings of the Lord, Jagannath Baladev Subhadra Maya Sudarshan, Garantai, Lord Narasimhadev, and Panchatattva. By their blessings, we can understand the spiritual topics. So we'll start with the prayers. You can repeat after me and remain muted. Om Ajnanatimirandasya Jnananjanashalakaya Chakshurunmilidam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Nama Nama Om Vishnupadaya Krishna Preshtaya Bhutale Srimade Bhaktivedanta Swami Niti Namine Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Pashatyadeshatarine जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैता गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्त वृंद हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे. So we dedicate the session to His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami, Srila Prabhupada, founder Acharya of ISKCON, who actually has dedicated his life for spreading the knowledge of Bhagavad Gita. Due to his mercy, we are able to understand Bhagavad Gita in a simple and practical way, and we are able to apply it in our daily life. So let's thank Srila Prabhupada before we proceed. Now, today's sloka is 2.23, chapter 2, sloka number 23. I'll recite the verse. You can all repeat after me and remain muted. Nainam chindandi shastrani, nainam dahati pavakaha, nachainam kletayantyapo, na shoshayati marudaha. Repetition. Nainam chindandi shastrani, nainam dahati pavaga, nachainam kletayantyapo, na shoshayati marudaha. Translation by His Divine Grace Srila Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. The soul can never be cut to pieces by any weapon, nor burned by fire, nor moistened by water, nor withered by wind. We see the word to word meaning. Na, never. Enam, this soul. Chindandi, can cut into pieces. Shastrani, weapons. Na, never. Enam, this soul. Dahadi, burns. Pavaga, fire. Na, never. Cha, also. Enam, this soul. Kledayanti, moistens. Apaha, water. Na, never. Shoshayadi, dries. Maruda, wind. We'll get back to the shloka. So, just to recap what we were discussing yesterday. So, yesterday we were seeing the analogy given by Lord Krishna to Arjuna, saying that just like the human being takes on different dresses, we wear different dresses, and when the dress becomes old and useless, we take a new dress. So, similarly, the real person which we are is the soul, the Atma, takes on different bodies according to our karma and desire, and when the bodies become useless, then the soul takes another body. So this was the discussion yesterday. So last few sessions we were discussing about the eternal nature of the soul. So today in this shloka, Krishna is explaining to Arjuna, he is giving different is different, is explaining in different ways and emphasizing the point that the soul cannot be destroyed. So Krishna says it cannot be nainam chindandi shastrani, it cannot be cut by weapons. Nainam dahati pavaka. So it cannot be burned by fire. It cannot be moistened by water, nor it can be dried by wind or air. So these are just few examples Krishna is giving to emphasize the point that in any way, whatever ways anybody tries, the soul cannot be destroyed. So what can be destroyed is only the temporary body, which anyway will be destroyed in due course of time. So these are just some examples Krishna gives to emphasize this point, right? So there is no way. So we have to infer that there is no way that the soul can be destroyed. So the context of the discussion, if you recap, so Krishna Arjuna was, initially when he came to the battlefield and he saw that all his relatives, friends, and dear ones are also assembled on the opposite party, and also in the same, his side also. So the consequence of the war would be that many of them will be killed. No, and Arjuna was very much compassionate to his close relatives like Bhishma, grandfather Bhishma, then his teacher Dronacharya, and he doesn't want to be the cause of their destruction. So then Krishna is reminding Arjuna that you cannot actually kill any of them, right? You all that you kill is their body, so you don't have to lament actually for the temporary body, which anyway will be destroyed. So that is the context of the today's discussion. So I'll temporarily stop the sharing now. Okay. Somebody has any message? Can you please rename? Okay. Yeah. So just a moment. Yeah. So basically, this shloka and the last few shlokas, no. So Krishna actually is guiding Arjuna and awakening his spiritual knowledge, right? So Arjuna's discussion and arguments were from the bodily platform, and Krishna now is shifting the focus or elevating the consciousness of Arjuna from a material perspective, a spiritual place, a higher spiritual perspective. So when we are looking at the spiritual soul perspective, there is no reason to lament because the soul is eternal, right? So that's the point Krishna is establishing in this. Um, yeah. So the nature of the soul we saw, the soul actually is eternal. It is indivisible. It is unchanging, and it cannot be destroyed by any material means or it cannot be destroyed by any means. And also we have seen earlier that the individual nature of the soul is always an individual, right? So before this body is taken, the soul was individual. During this lifetime we are an individual that we can pursue directly, and Krishna is also saying that in the future also you will be an individual. So the soul's individuality is eternal and it never lost, right? Even when attain liberation also, the soul will still maintain its individuality. So this is eternal nature of the soul. So these are some of the important concepts we have seen. Yeah. So and when we analyze what is the root cause of Arjuna's lamentation, right? The root cause of Arjuna's lamentation is identification with the bodily platform, because he is considering all the people who are assembled as the temporary body which he is perceiving, right? And Krishna is explaining to Arjuna that that we are our direct perception is limited actually, and then we are not directly able to always pursue the eternal soul which is residing in everybody's body. So also we will see in the future sessions, what actually how sometimes we may have the doubt why Krishna is asking Arjuna to kill, right? Basically, generally, killing is considered as a sinful activity, right? And it is a true fact as per Vedic scriptures also. But then we will see in future sessions. But then the brief points are there is that one is that Arjuna's duty, being a Kshatriya, is to fight. Okay, so according to Vedic scriptures, there are dharmic principles established, and a Kshatriya has to fight in the war. And anybody who is killed in the war, in a dharmic war, it is guaranteed that they can attain higher planets like Swargaloka. But Swargaloka is not the eternal destination. But nevertheless, they get a higher destination. And second thing is that ultimately everything is working as per the Lord's plan. Lord Krishna, we saw, he is the source of everything. He is the supreme Lord, who has created everything. And Lord has different plans. And when we align our activities to the Lord plans, then actually everything will be in order, and that is the best scenario that can happen. So whenever we act according to the Lord's will, then actually there is no sinful reaction. So Lord has a plan, right? We don't know. So many souls are assembled in the Kurukshetra war, and only the Lord knows what are their past activities, what are their karma, and what is the reason they are actually come to this particular situation. So the Lord's plan is always infallible, and when we align to the Lord's plan, then everything is auspicious. So these are some of the important concepts. Now we will actually see some examples. So in the last session, we saw the example of uh, the out of body experience or near death experience, no? Out of body experience, right? So today we continue. We take another example. So many of us, may not be having faith in the soul, right? So we are generally we say that no, what we see is what we believe, right? So in the olden times, in the Vedic times, this was a given fact. Nobody has to prove or convince others, that soul is existing. But in today's world, because of our material conceptions and influence of Western civilization, etc., we actually gradually, lost faith. So, so we are actually looking at some examples, which everybody can cross check. They can research themselves. So we were discussing the topic. So there are three important topics related to the soul, which actually modern day people also accept, right? Or there are so many instances and examples. So one is the near death experience, the second is the out of body experience, and the third is reincarnation, right? So these are important principles, or the facts which are happening, and then there has been extensive research. So today we will look at one example uh, of a person known as Dr. George Rodonai. So Dr. George Rodonai, so he's actually Russian, and he was an atheist. So he did not believe in God basically, and he has done a PhD initially in neuroscience. And at that time, he once he no he meets with an accident. Actually, he was run over by a car when he was walking on the sidewalk, and immediately he died. Okay, and then immediately people assembled. They took him to the hospital, and then because he was dead, actually they kept him in the morgue, in the mortuary, right? So 3 days he was in the morgue or mortuary, and on the third day, the doctors will come and they want to perform the autopsy, or by what postmortem. So as part of that, they have to cut the body, right, to see the internal organs and to decide what exactly is the cause of the death. So as soon as the doctor started the incision, this person will come back to life. So actually, there are many such near-death experience cases, but this is a very profound case where actually the period of the period the person remained dead, or inactive, was like 3 days. So 3 days is a very long period. So then later when he came back to life, no, he explained his experiences. So you can all search for this name, Dr. George Rodoney, and you can get the details. There are many interviews, etc., published. So some of the things which he explained was that as immediately after the accident, he felt that he is floating around the body. He came out of the body and he's able to see his body lying down, and he was fully able to see everything which is happening. He saw that people are coming. Then after that, police came. Then the ambulance came. Right, the body was taken to the hospital. So he told that he did not felt any pain, right, but he was able to clearly see everything. And then he was taken to the mortuary or morgue, and then there also he was able to see, right. He was able to see that he was in the freezer, and no, but actually he was not perceiving the things from the body. He was seeing everything, feeling or understanding everything from outside. And then he saw whenever somebody opened the morgue, he was able to see that who has opened it. So all these things he were able to explain, and they were able to corroborate with the what has really happened. Yeah, so and then he felt that so we also saw, right, yesterday also we discussed that what is understanding is that all these limitations which with the body, right. So when we are in this body, we are constrained by the material laws. So if I suddenly want to go to some faraway place, I can't do. No, I have to take a train or plane. But when we are out of the body, the soul is not restricted, or the subtle body is also not restricted. So within a moment, when we think a place, we can reach that place. So Rodane also was saying that he was beyond the physical limitation. He was not constrained by these things. Um, yeah. So when the doctor was doing the autopsy, he was able to see. He was in the room. He was seeing that, okay, what exactly were they talking, what they were planning to do. And at the when the doctor started the incision, immediately he felt, he entered the body. Look at that, he felt, and then they were all shocked, actually. Sorry, this never happened. After 3 days, somebody is coming back. So yeah, so this is just another example, that actually everything that we see is not everything. There are things which is beyond our perception. Just a moment. Yeah, so basically this is the person. Son, he's having seeing, actually they can watch it, and you can see there are many videos about this person. No, and yeah. So another amazing thing about him is that after, because he was an atheist, then later he actually he migrated to United States. There actually became a priest, right, and then and then took one more doctorate in psychology. So this is a very well researched case. And then there is also a website called ndestories.org. So where actually different people have come and they explain their near death experience. Yeah, so Now let's see what actually what are the lessons for today that we can apply in our life. So how does it help, to know that, how does it matter, okay, that I'm not the body and the soul. So when we really understand, and then we are convinced that, no, we are not this temporary body that we see, then the main advantage that we get is that our fear of death, which actually is one of the greatest fear, we can gradually become freed or relieved from this fear and anxiety. Also, we from a family perspective, we the inevitable death happens in every family, right? So many of us lose our friends or family members. Mataji was saying the other day that she lost her friend. Uh, so so when we understand that, okay, this body is temporary and the real person is not affected by the death, right? He just moves on to another body. So this gives us a lot of relief, right? And then we will not be overly lamenting, for our close relatives. So it will help us to cope up with actually losses, right? Understanding that, okay, the person is not life is, he's continues his journey, right? This is just a small episode in the life of that person. Similarly, all of us will go through different episodes. So we are relieved actually, about our lamentation. And similarly, in our day-to-day life, in our work, etc., we will not be overly attached to the different situations, right? So these ups and downs, success and failures, we have to take it in the stride, right? And then the real person who is the soul is not really affected by any of these activities that happens in the life. So he's aloof to all of these things, right? So this way, actually, we can become more mature in our perspective towards life, and we'll be able to face the challenges, in a more matured way. Yeah. So with that, I think we come to the end of today's discussion. If there are any questions, you can unmute and ask. If somebody wants to leave, they can leave. Uh, so, as every day, we meet every day, Monday to Saturday, 7 a.m., and we will continue the discussions of the spiritual topics. And hearing the spiritual topics, I hope, all of you are benefited. And you feel more confident to face the day and in a more matured way. Is there any questions? You can unmute and ask, or you can put it in the chat. Or later, if you have any personal questions you want to discuss separately, you can message personally. I will try to respond to that. Hare Krishna. Thank you all. I really appreciate all of you joining at 7 a.m. despite of your busy schedule. So please encourage your friends and relatives so that they also can benefit from the sessions. Okay, so since there are no questions, we'll end the session now. Thank you all for joining once again, and see you tomorrow. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Prabhupada ki jai. Thank you. Hare Krishna.